I'm literally going live just to kill a bit of time. Um, Live on Fan Circle at 7 p.m. So thought I'd kill a few minutes to see if there's anything happening. Let me see. At the moment, the Chelsea City game is over. That's a good result for us, for Arsenal. 3-1 City. So that means, yeah, we're just 3 points off Chelsea. Level on games. Chelsea down to 8th. City up to 5th. Still all to play for. Still plenty to play for. Got the podcast and essentials with me for tonight. We've got the fuel. Got the inhaler. Very, very important. And for anyone who watches me or listens to me, the most essential thing ever, because I'm constantly blowing my nose because I suffer so bad with allergies. That's why if you listen to the podcast, yeah, that's why I sound like this. It's an absolute pain in the arse. It's really really bad. Had to break out the bruised banana for tonight. Haven't worn this one yet on Fan Circle, so this one has to make an appearance. Doing my best to bring out the collection of shirts for each episode. Um, I think I'm nearly through them all at the moment. Trying to wear a different one for each episode, just so I don't look like a scruff and wear the same thing all the time. So yeah, we'd have to wear a bit of everything. For anyone that's been checking my stuff out, new podcast out earlier today as well, talking about that 4-0 win against West Brom. Good performance by the lads. Handy enough game. It was like it was kind of like a Europa League game. I don't know whether it was the snow. I don't know whether it was the kind of crappy opposition we played, but yeah, it felt very very Europa League kind of style. Look, expected to get the 3 points. They went out there, did what they were supposed to do. Can't argue. 3 wins out of 3. So look, got to be happy with that. Climbing the table. What are we? 11th in the table now. Just double check. I don't think today's results affect anything. I think we're still 11th. Yeah, still 11th in the table. Doesn't sound great, but when you put it into perspective, 11th in the table, 3 points off, being up in and around the European spots. It's not too bad. Could be worse. Yeah, if anybody is interested, if you haven't already seen it, did a live video yesterday with a good friend of mine. Just so happens to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan, so it's definitely worth checking out. So one of the lads, Pat, really really cool guy, like that, speaks well, knowledgeable about football. Makes good points. Not one of them fans that's just this is my team, fuck your team. He literally, like, okay, don't get me wrong, he'll take the piss over Arsenal and how we're doing, but actually makes good valid points at the same time as well. It's not just like you get some fans that just talk for the sake of talking. Like, he's actually got interesting points to make, which is why I was more than happy to have him on for the first live. This is literally the second live I've done, and again, just pure killing time. I've got a half an hour before Fan Circle starts, so I'm in the mood now a bit of waffle. And you get plenty of waffle out of me on Fan Circle anyway. But yeah, if anyone hasn't checked out Fan Circle as well, definitely check it out. Like I said, live at 7 o'clock tonight. Definitely worth checking out. Like really sound group of lads. Know their stuff as well. Again, not like some of the channels you'll see. I won't mention any names, but I think people know probably who I'm talking about. The kind of clickbait channels. Like these lads on Fan Circle actually actually talk some sense, and it's interesting to listen to it as well. So yeah, really enjoy being part of the channel. Literally only this will be what my fourth time on it tonight. So I'm still a baby. I'm still a baby in terms of appearances. You might notice as well. I had to shave. It's become a bit too much, since I started appearing on Fan Circle. Just the newfound fame. I can't even walk down the street anymore without women throwing their underwear at me, and lads asking me for autographs and how they can be a bit more like me. And it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, but yeah. So look, it should be a good show tonight. Be talking about the West Brom game. I'd imagine, where it's all changed for us. It's like that. What a difference a couple of games can make. What a difference a couple of points can make for your league standing. We were a team only a couple of weeks ago. People were completely writing us off. Relegation candidates in a relegation battle. I never believed that, to be totally honest. I never bought into the hype of that. I think a lot of that was just like that rival fans jumping on an opportunity just to talk a bit of shit, yourself. And then it's sad to say, but you always do get a portion of your own fan base that it's almost like they feed off of when the team isn't doing well. And like I said, there's there's some brilliant Arsenal fans out there. There's some very knowledgeable Arsenal fans. I think a big part of the problem is, like I said, there's a lot of clickbait. Um, I don't even, what would you call them? Would you even call them news based sites or Instagram pages and that? And they almost just kind of feed off of seeing the team do badly. And of course, all we want to see is the team doing well. But this is kind of what sells nowadays, isn't it? This is what people are interested in. It's like you get more views, and when things aren't going well, I think people want to see you lose your shit rather than sit here with a big smile saying, "Yeah, everything's cool. Like we're playing well." I don't know. It's just what some people prefer. But like I said, I think the more knowledgeable fan group, they're more interested in seeing us do well. They're more interested in actual analysis and yeah, yourself. Here's a question. There's Ray, Arsenal Fan Circle. I was just saying to anybody who's watching here, killing a bit of time, getting psyched up for being on the Fan Circle later on. So see what you've done to me. You've created a monster here. And I would still dive into the transfer market, definitely. I think we've been burned a bit in the past. I think by trusting the performances of certain players, like last season, for example, Arteta managed to squeeze a bit of extra life out of a lot of those players that we'd written off in the past, and I guess we somewhat fooled into believing maybe they turned the corner in their career. Maybe the bit of extra coaching and whatever else was the difference in what made them not so good to actually quite decent. I just know deep down we'll get burned again. It'll happen eventually. Okay, we're riding high on confidence. We have a bit of an injection into the team of new players, the young players. I just think, given an opportunity, if we don't make new signings and we do continue to trust in the same guys, the repeat offenders, yeah, I just think it'd be the same old story. I definitely think we do have to strengthen. And the young guys have been brilliant. They need their run in the team. They need their chance. But like that, you can't depend on them for the whole season. I know we've only half the season left, and they're only coming in now. But it's a lot. It's a lot for the youngsters to have to take on as well. And they shouldn't have to take on the responsibility by themselves. But if you look at Bukayo Saka, for example, that guy almost single handedly was, okay, we weren't getting great results, but he was carrying us as best he could. At least now he's got a bit of help, and you can see the difference he's made to the right hand side of the pitch. Like we look a whole different team. We're far from the complete article, of course, but slowly, slowly, slow and steady. Have to take it game by game. But yeah, all positive for the moment. So hopefully it'll continue that way. And like that FA Cup up next. So it's a bit of a pity. Bit of a pity. It's always nice when you're on a good run of form. It's nice to just continue and just keep going. But sometimes I don't know. Look, I'd rather we were just playing Palace next and maybe then the FA Cup. I think it'd be nice to get Palace while we're on good form. And that's not to say we're not going to be on good form. We might get a good result. We probably will get a good result in the FA Cup. I'd be confident enough of getting a result against Newcastle. Uh, Newcastle beaten today by Leicester. Tough game for them. But yeah, we should have enough about us. But yeah, it's always nice to be able to keep the momentum going. So hopefully. But definitely, yeah, definitely we need to strengthen. We definitely need to strengthen. We're we're not far off at the moment. We're not far off the European places. But is that partially because the season that's in it? A lot of teams dropping a lot of points that maybe if the stands were full, they wouldn't be dropping those points. And I'm not even going to really include us in that equation because the Emirates, it can be it can be one of those venues. I would say personally, if I was an Arsenal player, when things aren't going well, I would probably rather be playing away games than playing in front of, the fan base because it can be toxic. It can be very, very toxic. So I actually thought with having no fans at all, I thought we'd do very, very well because I thought we'd actually take a bit of pressure off of a lot of those players that, probably were feeling, say like Shaka, for example. He's a bit of a funny relationship with the fans. Um, you would think guys like that maybe less pressure, as in less pressure from the stands. Saying that though, the social media era that we're in, there's kind of no respite for players, no real escape now. I guess if you don't hear it in the stands, you're gonna hear it in your DMs. So yeah, there's no real breakaway. But yeah, look, I've done a little bit of waffling for a while, killing a bit of time. 20 minutes to go before the fan circle. So anybody interested in checking it out, I've already posted it up on Facebook. I'll throw a link to this video even up on Facebook and that and Twitter. And yeah, definitely look, check it out. I'll throw another link up again when it's going live. So hopefully we'll get a nice big audience, get plenty of questions going. And it should be another good show as always. So check out Arsenal Fan Circle, 7 o'clock. So I'll see you there.